with pretty much a lot of VTuber orgs being outed currently for being scummy as shit, what is stopping you from making one?
A VTuber org?
We did.
We did?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, honestly, I've watched enough of your stream and seen enough of the drama that results in the VTubing side of things to be like, you know what? That's not really something that I'm interested in. But I think, no, like, I think in terms of, you know, a content collective, what we have at OTK is really special. And I think, you know, just personally, my focus in terms of how we can make this organization last long term and you know, continue to provide, you know, value to our creators and our team is produce businesses that have a much more, you know, produce businesses that are more future-proof, if that makes sense. Media collectives and content collectives, just like bands, for example, they hit and then they last for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, you know, the Jonas Brothers want to go their separate ways, or the Backstreet Boys want to do their own thing, or whatever it is. So I think, you know, from a business model perspective, content collectives, I don't look at them as like the end-all be-all of what you should do in the creator economy. I think they're a great launching point for a brand that can then be leveraged to start up other businesses. But starting more creator collectives, it was a thought that we had talked about earlier on, but I think we're at the point now after the success of Starforge and things like Mythic and you know, building up Mad Mushroom where, you know what, maybe our efforts are better placed elsewhere.
I get that. So, would you ever sign a VTuber? Just one? Or no?
It's something that I would strongly consider, and I wouldn't use that as a factor to make a decision against it.
Okay.
And so the answer pretty much is yes, absolutely, I would be willing to do that. Also, like, yeah, there are a lot of VTubers signed to Mythic. I mean, that's really the truth, and that's
they make a lot of fucking money.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm very glad to hear that, and that's something that we try to do as authentically and as fairly as possible, because you're totally right that like a lot of people do get totally finessed, totally get taken advantage of, and yeah, I mean owning their character. What the fuck?
Weird
and
shit.
it's like I get. Like, it's a totally different culture. It's a different group. But, like, from my perspective, I mean, looking in from the outside, this seems extremely predatory. It does. And I find it to be problematic. Obviously, you know, these companies are free to do whatever they want to do. And the people that are in there can join and do that. And the truth is that big places like Vishojo, HoloLive, etc., maybe Niji Sanji before this situation, they do have a certain level of clout, right? Yeah. And they do offer a value proposition to joining. So I think it kind of makes sense why people would feel like they want to join or they want to be part of it. But at the same time, it's clearly not good for them in the long term if they're actually successful.
For sure. And, you know, to represent the corporate side for a second, like, if those organizations are able to tangibly demonstrate value that scales linearly with, you know, the other side of the table, then I think they can make the case for it. Like if you told me right now, hey, Niji Sanji or one of these organizations wants to sign me as a VTuber and they're going to do all the work and set me up and, you know, I'm going to go from zero to an overnight success and make all this money, then I do think there is, you know...
There's some ownership in that.
There's some ownership. And then I think they, you know, the compensation structure, I'd be flexible with it. But the problem is that regardless of you know, whether or not it makes sense, from a business standpoint, it just doesn't work anymore. Like in the digital age, creators are empowered. They know they're empowered. Whether or not they know today, at some point, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now, those VTubers are going to turn around. They're going to be like, hey, you guys are taking way too much. So I just don't think it's not even about whether or not it's fair. I just think it's a bad business model.
Yeah, I mean, they do a similar thing with idols in Japan. Have you heard of idol culture in Japan?
Is that the prostitutes?
No.
No. Sorry. I just watched something about what are they called? Hosts. Sorry, that's what it was.
The host clubs.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not. Yeah. The host thing. There was some controversy recently that I saw a video about where this lady got busted.
Yes.
Because I think I was watching one of your videos actually. Yeah. So that's what wrong connection. Apologies.
Yes, like the idol culture in Japan is like they give you a gimmick. You live as that person. You're not allowed to date, publicly at least. And then essentially when they're done with you, generally when you turn like 21, 22, they just throw you to the curb and they get more people to worship as their idols.
Oh my God, okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of similarities between that and what HoloLive and Niji Sanji did. But in my opinion, right, is the dream of mine for one day for OTK to have a VTuber. I've probably talked to both you guys about this. Where there's this dude called Lord Athelstan. Best fucking VTuber on the goddamn platform. Super underrated. Super fucking underrated, right? We signed this guy, right? We get him on OTK. He's half human, half VTuber, depending on the stream, depends on what he does. But he has all the ins with all the VTubers, right? So we sign him, we get in there, then it's for an out stream. Slowly, one by one, we all turn into our VTuber avatars, right? We have the Asmongold VTuber, the Mizkit VTuber, and then bada bing, bada boom, Athel's announced. Fucking massive fanfare. And then now that we used his signing, he's with us. But now we have the in to the rest of the VTubers because VTubers are very racist. They're very racist. They will not collab with you unless you're a VTuber. Okay?
Got it.
I mean, you've seen Fillian's game show, the VTuber only game awards. That's fucking insane. And the amount of, you see the post on Twitter too, we are only going to play with VTubers. It's bullshit, right? So we all get a VTuber model, we get a new VTuber, and then, that's a lot of alleys open for a lot of us. So I just feel like it should be very considered. He's a very good content creator.
I'll say this, we won't rule anything out.
Great.
And you, Lord Athelstan, if you're watching this, Tectone always praises you behind the scenes, not just on camera.
Yes,
I think he's got a crush on you, honestly.
Well, he's taken. Nanners. Beautiful nanners.
True. Okay, for sure. But no, I mean, I think, when it comes to, again, just going back to the band metaphor, Van Halen is great. 50 Cent is great.
Yep.
50 Cent as a part of Van Halen, it's like, I'm not so sure, right? I'm not sure.
100% agree.
So I think, if we were ever to go down that avenue, it would definitely be okay, how can we start a VTuber group? If we can collaborate together alongside each other, I think that could potentially, present value. But we would want to make sure that group stays as authentic as it can. And just to be completely honest with you, the technical challenges of integrating VTubers into our content, I think we underestimated them in the past.
Yeah.
I was pretty surprised when I saw the Fillian show. Like
the
way that she was on that show with WePlay, that was nuts.
Amazing.
Like I was expecting this to be like some copy pasta GIF thing, on the screen. But man, it actually looked really good.
Really good.
Absolutely. And I think if you just slotted one of us in there on stage, it might have broke the immersion a little bit.
Yeah.
So definitely, I would love to do more stuff like that with other VTubers for sure.
Yeah, Fillian is also doing insane.
Absolutely.
She is.
Absolutely insane.
Yes, big fan.
Yeah, Fillian, Shy Lily, Lord Athel, Nanners. Oh man, Nanners is the best. But yeah, just thought I'd throw my name in there because right now I feel like we're in a I'm Nick and then you're Mizkif right now in regards to
Oh, for sure.
extra Emily.